So after that very far too graciously kind introduction, I am now destined to disappoint you for the rest of this speech. So along with Dean Nicola Foote and fellow alum and board visitors, members Guy Molinari, Valerie and Jay, as well as the distinguished faculty and guests in attendance with us today, and most importantly, your loved ones here in the audience, we are so proud of you and what you've learned and achieved. Throughout your time at Pitt, you may have gazed at stars in astronomy or looked inwards to see how we biologically tick in human physiology. You may have learned the many uses of carbon in organic chemistry, the strength of its products in engineering mechanics, or even how to brand its technological breakthroughs in marketing. You may have learned of the insights of dragons, hobbits, and wizards from J.R. Tolkien, or learned how to code the cavalry movements of the Rohirrim in computer science. You may have learned the virtue ethics of Aristotle and learned how to put that into sound effects in music engineering. Perhaps you did not just learn about emergent complexity, cascading from our very words to the very cities, farms, and even larger systems that we operate. You lived it in grappling with how you take your learnings and applying it to your passions and pursuits at Pitt. Through it all, you did so with remarkably distinct and extraordinary sense of resilience and grace. You are some of the first to start amidst COVID-19 and survived endless Zoom breakout rooms to now graduate thinking about how you will help us prevent the next pandemic. As is emblematic of Pitt and the Frederick Honors College, getting out of your comfort zone wasn't an option, it was your core requirement. So where do we go from here? How can we perhaps continue on this journey? I would like to leave you with some brief thoughts. First, engage in lifelong learning. Life above the neck does not stop as you walk and transverse below it. This is not the end, but only a start of your renewed intellectual journey. I feel the most precious gifts that Pitt gave me is not just what to learn, but how to continue to learn and relearn and the peers to engage with in that process. In fact, just yesterday, one of my dearest friends, Meher Itani, who's also a fellow Pitt alum and who's currently the senior advisor of the Minister of Implementation and Follow-up for the Sultanate of Oman, he and I published a paper proposing a framework for how to build today's large-scale programs that will hopefully deliver solutions to tomorrow's grand challenges. That collaboration started in the halls of the Swanson School of Engineering and has now traversed to Muscat and Oxford. Continue meeting and learning with each other. In so doing, your novel breakthroughs will only continue to reinvigorate us, and please do come back and tell us about them as fellow alums so we can celebrate them with you. Second, experiment. You will be the harbingers of society's most existential challenges, but also its most profound breakthroughs. This is why at Pitt, we seek to place you at the cutting edge, because you will continue to confront challenges for which you cannot sit and just wait for clarity and have to act and innovate. You are often going to be on the front lines before those front lines can be analyzed. This takes courage and conviction, and if we at Pitt and Frederick Honors College and alums cannot empower you to do it here, then where else are you going to do it? Now, what does that mean tangibly? This means you need to recognize you're in a world where you're no longer trying to seek an optimum on a single probability, but traversing across a frontier of possibilities. Our world is multidimensional, multi-criteria, and multifaceted. We need to be efficient in costs and in compassion and care. We need to have time to deliver on today's pressing demands, but for our future generations and the environment. We need quality for today's work, but for what that quality will deliver in terms of societal advancement and betterment. We are in a world of rubber and not iron. More than ever, in this world typified by turbulence rather than tranquility, we need to shift from an alleviation mindset that assumes a unipolar world where maximizing and therefore is possible to completely reduce uncertainty, to a mitigation mindset that assumes a multipolar world of trade-offs and propagation of risk. Simply put, something will go wrong, and the key is to quickly stop the bleeding. Be adaptable, be agile, and I'm sure you'll bring the Band-Aids that no one knew was there all along. Given we know you will experience these unprecedented challenges and opportunities before anyone else, Pitt and the Frederick Honors College has built you to be pioneers for how we should think differently, and know you all have the fortitude to do so when likely all others will not realize nor recognize the need for such novelty. Therefore, take stock and reflect, but don't let it shackle you from doing what is different and needed. One of my favorite words in Mandarin is weiji, which means crisis. While there are many interpretations of the word that are richly debated, my favorite interpretation is that the word is a combination of weixian, which means danger, and jihui, which means opportunity. So in every moment of crisis may reside precisely the chance to do something bold and brilliant. Our world needs you to set in motion those daring ideas, however messy, evolving, and bravely unfinished. It is often these good enough actions at the moment that will change the world, while the best, most perfectly laid plans arrive too late, if ever at all. Third, and something that I will never forget from what Pitt taught me, continue to spend more of your time uncovering those anticipated diamonds in the rough, rather than dwelling in the allure of status. I've studied and worked at some of the most elite institutions, but it is at Pitt I learned the ability to find the compass to the northernmost stars in the most unlikely and deepest of trenches. Pitt's superpower is harnessing your ability to see value in what others might and often will overlook. Marshaling the widest swaths of life to unearth brilliance that only comes with genuinely being able to see the collective gifts that we create with a previously unfamiliar other that is now the fiercest of partners. And like all good superpowers, it comes with responsibility and occasional imposter syndrome. Embrace both. Obviously then, with such a track record of excellence, people notice. This year, Forbes named Pitt one of the new Ivies, as a testament to the collective excellence that is you and our Pitt and Frederick Honors College alma mater. Don't let such status and the comfort of its conformity stop you from continuing our distinct quality of finding excellence in the most hidden of places. In a world where addressing our grandest challenges will require inflecting from, rather than genuflecting to, our past, our solutions will not be in the obvious. We will have to take the gutsy but necessary step to dig deep, to find the most unlikely postcard from the edge. And Pitt uniquely builds in you the ability to decipher its valuable and timeless messages. This is undoubtedly difficult work, but in this tremendous capability I see of Pitt personified through all of you, and the endurance you demonstrate daily, I have never been more convinced that you will guide us towards the most critical of excellence, just waiting to be discovered in the mysteriously beautiful possibilities of the seemingly opaque and ambiguous. Continue that curiosity about others, especially those unlike you. Empathy is radical. Listening is transformative. And in that process, your closest collaborator may be the very person who you once were intimidated by at orientation. So step forward bravely, shake new hands, ask questions, start something, trip, recover, and try again. And above all, do it with heart. And with, of course, a generous dose of self-effacing humor. Finally, please take care of yourselves. Not just with kale and cardio, but with playlists, naps, laughter, and human connection. Burnout isn't a badge of honor. Balance is. In the 1,000 cuts that define progress, in every delay, every struggle, every reset, every setback, we often forget that we wear those cuts. If we do not take care of ourselves, be more attentive to the warning signs in ourselves and in each other of anxiety and exhaustion, then these cuts will scar more permanently. Please be purposive about closing your eyes, resting, and rejuvenating, and also be purposive to looking to the person next to you and helping them do the same. That's because we are one Pitt family, and as a family, we need to look out for each other and raise each other up from the inevitable lows that we will all confront. We need you for the long road ahead, and you are too important to wear every tread on that road on your own all the time. We are here for you, and we see you. We are here for you, and we see you. Please do reach out when you need someone at those critical rest stops as your journey forward to change our collective lives for the better in whatever you do. No, no matter where you are in the world and whatever sector, our ivory towers at Pitt, and especially our bright one, the Cathedral of Learning at the Federal Honors College, has a wide social gaze. I want to close with my favorite quote from leadership, which comes from Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism. A leader is best when people barely know they exist. When their work is done, their aim is fulfilled, they will all say, "We did it ourselves." What coming back to Pitt perennially reminds me is that we lead because of the big things you do every day and the excellence through which you do it. Where else can the children of carpenters, coal miners, factory workers, scientists, and investment bankers come together to create what we thought was never even dreaming as possible? Where else, too, can first-generation college students and steelworkers become the professors that help you ponder how to weave that tapestry? In the problems that you solve and the burdens that you take for all our sakes, and the many alumni and professors who have been willing you to that success, you help advance our Pitt community, those who will come after you, and even those voiceless and unnamed who will benefit from your legacy and footprint. Thank you. Truly honored and humbled that you've allowed me to join you in this very small and celebratory part of your journey. Each of you in your own special way are a unique embodiment of profound insight, open generosity, and a conviction of purpose. In my interactions with you as students, your varied intellectual passions, as well as simply the sheer joy and depth in which you study and convey them, have been such a personal source of inspiration and motivation. Congratulations and well done once again. Know that your Pitt and Frederick Honors College family here and beyond is very much looking forward to marveling at what you will accomplish and achieve, not just in your careers, but also for our world and posterity. And of course, hail to Pitt.